Carberry.
Presentation from Kristopher Knowles. He arrived in Carberry today, and today is day 106 of his journey. Chris is 13-year-old, and he needs a liver transplant. He wants to accomplish a 200 city and town walk across Canada to help save every man, woman, and child that also needs an organ transplant. Please welcome Kristopher Knowles. Speakers, and the first one will be the Mayor of Carberry, Atresia.
Chris in Carberry. I think it's quite an adventure to travel down Trans-Canada Highway and visit so many schools, so I wish Chris the best of luck on his journey. Thank you.
Now I would like to ask Kristopher to come forward, and he's going to do a speech for us.
Hi, my name is Kristopher Knowles. I'm 13 years old. I've been waiting for a liver my whole life. The disease that caused me needing a liver is called Biliary Atresia. It is a common disease among infants. Most infants die shortly after birth. So far, I've been fortunate enough to still be alive. I've been in and out of the hospital most of my life. I've had over 20 operations that saved my life. I'm doing this walk to bring awareness to the shortage of organ and tissue needed. That's why I thought to myself that there is a way to save people's lives. And if I save a lot of lives, it makes this all worthwhile. That's why I'm walking across Canada, to save the 4,000 men, women, and children that are in need of an organ. I'm trying to inspire everybody to be an organ donor. Tell your friends and family about your wishes, and if you do, you're my hero, as well as everybody else's. Please don't take your organs then. Heaven knows we need them here. And I'd like to thank Carberry for your support. Alone, I can't do this, but together we can. Please make my wish come true. Thank you.
And now we will ask the senior high and junior high student councils to come forward to present the pledge.
Senior high and junior high student councils would like to present these checks to Chris.
Now we'd like to introduce George Marcel.
Carberry Collegiate, how's everybody feeling this afternoon? Oh, come on, you can do better than that. In last school we were at, really gave a cheer. How's Carberry Collegiate doing this afternoon? That's what I like to do. Okay, this part of the presentation, what we do is we call this up close and personal with Chris, and it'll give a chance for everybody here to ask Chris questions. But before we do that, I want to thank some of the following people. in your community. I want to thank the Carberry Motor Inn for helping us out with accommodations last night, as well as some meals. Also want to thank the RCMP from Carberry for giving an excellent escort today, and the officers here. Please give them a warm applause. I also want to thank the students that walked this afternoon with Chris. Thank you, guys. I want to thank the mayor for attending on very short notice and saying a few gracious words. Thank you, Mayor. And I want to thank your principal, Mr. Brian Drysdale, for helping to organize this school. He's shy to speak, so that's why we didn't have him up here. Now, before I begin, I want to acknowledge the rest of the team. To my right is Kelly Knowles, and that's Kristopher's dad. To my right again is Mr. Merle Roberts, and he's a film director producing the documentary On the Road. Please give him a round. And before I get to Chris, I just want to talk a little bit about the torch that was carried this afternoon. That's the Torch of Life. So far it's been received by almost 1 million Canadians. And it was also blessed by Pope John Paul II at Vatican City. And he blessed it and urged everybody in the world to become organ donors. And on January the 8th, 2004, in Sarnia, we relit the torch, and Kristopher has been carrying it ever since that day. Today is day 106, and Chris, come on up here. So we want to start off with some questions, and there's usually a brave student that raises their hand first. Who's that brave student? There it is, in the blue.
How did you get the idea to walk across Canada? Or how did you get the idea to do it? How were you
Like how did I get inspired? Like, is that Okay. Mr. Marcello over here, he did a walk across Canada about 3 years ago to do the same thing, and he stopped in Sarnia, and he was talking about organ and tissue donation and how he wanted to save everybody. And I got to go meet him, and I asked him if I could carry the torch to Sarnia, and he goes, yeah, wait till next year when I come back. So I waited, and he came back again, and I got to carry the torch to Sarnia. And then I asked him if I could walk across Canada, and he said, sure. So it's him.
How long did your trip take?
Okay, well, it's going to take a year. I started on January 8th, 2004 in Sarnia, Ontario, and I did 76 communities in Ontario, and then we're heading out west to BC, Victoria. Then we're going to fly to Toronto and do a 3-week stay there, and then we're going to fly to St. John's, Newfoundland, and walk back to Toronto and be done December 25th, 2004.
Question? Next question? Over here. What are some different ways that we can make our organs available, like donor cards, licenses, things like that?
Well, what we did this afternoon was provide your principal with some donor cards, and so they'll be available at the office. And there's a phone number at the back there. If you need more, the Ministry of Transportation will send you some more. Now remember that it's very important to discuss this wish with your family. So when you have the right moment, talk to your family about your wish. Next question. Sorry?
That's one of the reasons why people aren't donating their organs when they die. And another reason is, for me, is that there's 2 people in the hospital right now who are waiting for the same organ and same blood type and everything. And I have to have the same blood type. And, what was it? Oh, and another reason why I'm not really getting it is because I'm not in the hospital sick right now. So that's why it's taking longer. That's why I've been waiting for 2 years.
How many provinces in Canada right now don't consider you an organ donor unless you have signed not to be?
And that's a good question. Each province has their own system. They're basically very similar. At present, British Columbia is the only province that has a registry where you can have your name registered. So, but in your province, the only way that organs can be donated is after discussing the wish with the family, because the family has to make the final decision. So that's why we keep stressing that it's important to have the family member involved to know about your wish. Now, the other thing that we're trying to do, it's quite a bold initiative, and several other countries around the world have this system already. We're trying to create an idea of possibly having a system called precious consent. And that means that a national registry would be created where everybody's already registered as organ donors, and people that didn't want to be on that list could take their names off. Now, the country that developed that system first was Spain, and they lead the world in organ donations. There's hardly nobody on their waiting list that's passing away. Unfortunately, here in Canada, we have one person almost every other day that's on this waiting list, and there's 4,000 Canadians that are passing away because there's so many organs that are wasted. So we're trying to lobby the government to consider that system so that we can possibly save all 4,000 people, because we do have the potential in Canada to save all the 4,000. So it could be a topic that could be discussed in class one day. Next question. Back there.
What's the most needed organ?
What's the most needed organ? Kidneys are. They got double the rate of almost any other organs. Now, I got to mention that it's not only when you pass away that organs could be available. There's live donors, and people can donate. We have 2 kidneys, so people can donate a kidney. Usually it's a family member, or they can donate their liver, half of their liver. And in 3 weeks, the person that donated their liver, it'll grow back, and the other person that received it in 6 weeks, they'll have a full liver too. And so far, the last 2 years, there's been a great increase in live liver donors. And also you can donate a lung to somebody, and also bone marrow transplants. So there's a big area for live donations to consider also. Next question. There.
Can you import organs from other countries and stuff, like where they have like
These are all very good questions. I'm glad that you're asking these questions. Presently in Canada, our organ donation bank comes from Canadians. Now, because of the shortage here in Canada, there's some people, Canadians, that are on the waiting list that are desperately waiting. They go to other countries to possibly be on their list. And that's because of the shortage. So that's why this issue is so important. Because what we want to do as Canadians is we want to show that we don't need to go to other countries. There's enough organs in our country to go around, and we have the potential to save everybody. So that's why we're trying to urge as high as the Prime Minister to look at this and make this one of the most important issues on his agenda, so that we can save the 4,000 people that are on our waiting list right now. Next question.
Chris, how did your parents feel when you decided you wanted to walk across Canada? Were they supportive or shocked?
I'm pretty sure they're very supportive. Well, my dad is, because he is with me. And they were, and I have a brother and sister, and they're supportive, because if I do get my liver, my brother is going to finish the walk until I get better, and then me and him will finish it together. So, yeah, they are very supportive.
Do you have like a rare blood type or something that makes it hard for you to get a liver, or?
Yeah, sort of, I do, and then, like I said, I'm on the hospital right now, and that's another reason why I'm not getting it, is because there's kids right now in the hospital with the same blood type, same, like, needing a liver, and are in there, they're not that sick, but they're still going to get it before I will, and that's another reason why. Okay, my blood type is O positive.
Back there, in the middle.
Do you have to like go to school or like have a tutor or something while you're on the walk or whatever?
No, I don't have to have a tutor. They pass me because of my grades. And I still have to write a journal every day. And I have to do a lot of email. And you can visit me at my website at www.kristopherswish.ca. It's on this poster. And it's on the left, and it says contact us, and then you can email me anytime you want. I'm pretty sure it's any age. The oldest donor that I know of is 102. So I'm pretty sure you can donate at any age. My favorite part of the walk is checking out the scenery. I like that.
Back there, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Not really. Do you really?
How long of walks do you like? How time do you usually now?
Okay, well, I'm not allowed walking the whole thing. So I drive into the community, and then we stay the night, and then we get up in the morning, and then we meet at the city hall. And we used to meet at the city hall or school or anywhere. And then we walk with some kids to the school where we're holding a press conference. And depends how the weather is and how I feel, between 1 and 10 kilometers.
What kind of shoes do you wear?
I wear any kind of shoes.
What kind of shoes do you wear?
I wear any kind of shoes, but since like 3 months ago, I wore DCs.
sorry, can you repeat that?
She wants to know how you feel the fact that you're inspiring other children and people to donate organs and tissues.
Good question. Yeah, I feel good, I guess. I'm just hoping that, like, when I do talk to the kids and everybody, they do take, like, listen and, not listen, but, like, take part in this, to at least talk about it, or when you do get your license signed. So it feels good for me, and I'm just hoping I can save all people on the waiting list.
How long do you think it's going to be until you get your liver transplant?
Right now, I used to be first on the list, but now they dropped me down to third. So
Been waiting 14 years.
Well, 3 or 4 months, depends. Could be tomorrow, but never will happen.
You want to come to the bathroom, sir?
No, it's all right. I'm good.
Okay.
Well, like I said again, my brother is going to do the walk when I'm in the hospital. And then after the hospital, I'm going to get right back on it with my brother, and him. We're going to finish together. And then after the walk is still going to probably go on, and he knows all of it. I don't know the rest.
Basically, we're praying and hoping that his beeper goes off, and his dad has the beeper right there. It's called the Lifesaver. Once that goes off, then he gets flown to London to do his transplant, and his brother Robert will get flown out here to take Christopher's place. And I know this kid. He's going to want to get out of the hospital real fast to get back on the road, and then he's going to rejoin us. Question? This isn't about money. Our main focus is to bring the message to schools, the media, in the communities. But we do need money because we have a lot of expenses that build up, and that's why we are asking for funds so that we can make sure that we complete the campaign. Next question.
What was the best town you visited,
Truthfully? Carberry. I'm serious.
When do you like to work?
Or I'm just getting explain
When it gets lit on when we walk, when we start our walk. The torch was relit on January 8th by my Mayor Mike Bradley, and it's going to be delit in Toronto on December 25th.
We have to put it out when we arrive at the school, or else your smoke alarms will start going off. Sprinklers and stuff. Sorry? Actually, that's what, the sprinklers? Oh, no, we make sure we put it out before we enter the school, so that doesn't happen. We here? Has a lot of people donated as a result of this walk? Okay. Well, let me just tell you a little bit so far about what the campaign's accomplished since January 8th, 2004. We've reached over 1,000 media outlets. We've covered almost 85 communities. And in those communities, we've reached a lot of people. We always get calls on the emails and on the phone, and and Christopher has met many dignitaries in the government, the Minister of Health from Ontario. We recently came back from Winnipeg, and he met the Speaker of the House at the Legislative, and all these people that Kristophers reaching are getting inspired, and what we're hoping is as a result of Kristopher talking from community to community, that the whole country will be reached, and that's his wish. His wish is to help save all the Canadians that are on the waiting list, and one day, if by some misfortune you might hear that you know a friend or family that's on the waiting list, you know, I guess you get a better understanding of what this is all about, but we're hoping that nobody has to desperately wait for an organ ever in Canada. Next one. Back there.
Have you talked to any of the people waiting lists or waiting slippers? If you have, what percentage of those belong?
I've met a lot of people that have been, some people, not a lot, but some people that have been waiting for organs, and I've met a lot of people that had organs, and some families that, some people died and gave their organs away. But yeah, I know a lot of people.
What if it said you what you want?
Keep on going, I guess.
How much time do we have left? Time? We got time? Okay, back there.
Have you made anyone famous? Like, important things, not like from the government?
Okay. I met Bare Naked Ladies in Detroit. I've met much music DJs. I've met the Ottawa Senators team. Met the Toronto mascot. And I don't know. Oh yeah, I met Scotty Bowman, the coach. And I think that's good. I guess.
Next question.
How many people are there on the waiting list for your organ?
Sorry, what were you? Any order?
All order? Yeah, all order.
About 4,000 people.
No, not every person. There's about 300 there's about 300 people that will get saved this year, but almost every other day, out of those 4,000 on the waiting list, somebody's going to be passing away. So as we're talking right now, a family's getting the news that somebody's passing away on that waiting list. That's how gloomy and yucky the situation is.
Do you miss seeing your friends and family every day?
Yes, I do. I miss my friends from school, and I miss my brother, my sister, my mom, and my dog at home. This one day I was going into a hotel, and I had to go to the washroom, so I went into the washroom and I closed. This one day I was going into a hotel, and I had to go to the washroom, so I went into the washroom and I closed the door. And, I went to the washroom, and then I was done, and that wasn't the story. And I couldn't get it because the door locked me in. And you lock it from the inside. Well, the door from the inside got gone. And he left me. And he came and he asked, he goes, Chris, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in the washing. He goes, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm locked in the washing. He goes, oh, are you serious? Because I played jokes on him, so he didn't really believe me. And then I told him again, and he goes, okay, hold on a minute. And then he leaves, and then he goes against George. And then George comes in, and he goes, Chris, where are you? I'm locked in the washroom. And they didn't really believe me, but they sort of did. So they went and got the manager of the hotel, and I'm pretty sure the manager didn't know what to do either. So he came, and then they said, where are you? I'm like, I'm in the washroom locked. So about like an hour after that, they go get my dad, and he was in the motor room working on his computer. And they're like, Kelly, your son's locked in the bathroom. And he started laughing. And then he came out and he used like what do you use, a clothes hanger?
Crowbar.
A crowbar, and he busted it open. And our film director, Merle, he caught it all on tape. It was a great moment.
Next question.
Tell them about the pager story, Chris.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He can ask with the operation, but the recovery, it usually takes about a month, 2 months. For me, I'm out of the hospital in like a week, and then I might get home for like about 3 weeks, and then I'm back on myself, on the road. And but the surgery is about like 7 hours.
Regular.
Regular?
Regular. Yeah, you're not regular, but yeah.
7 hours. Sometimes it takes longer, but it depends what's going on, like what are they doing. For me, it takes like way longer than that because I don't really have any urine inside my stomach, so they pretty much have to take everything out, like drain me out, and then they stick everything back in with my liver, but it's not there yet. So. My dad does. Okay, I guess I'll tell you why I'm not allowed being, he's not allowed being a live donor. Well, because of my issue to me, I have to have the full liver, and so he tried to donate part of his liver, but the doctor wouldn't let him. And they said that I have to have the whole full generate moving liver, so that's why he can't do it.
Sorry. What else do you like to do?
I like to hang out with my friends. I like to play road hockey. I like to play ice hockey. The usual stuff.
You skateboard?
I'm not good.
You'll do it, buddy.
Are we good? Oh, got another question.
I'm not sure.
Problem with this disease, it's called Biliary Atresia.
Biliary Atresia.
Biliary Atresia, so I'm going to pronounce. And usually, it's a disease that usually infants contact shortly after birth. And when they do contact it, the mortality rate, that means that they usually die. 80% of the infants that do contact, 80% of them die before they reach the age of 2. So Kristopher here has survived those odds, plus he's had to get operated on about 20 times already just to keep him alive. Like, he's got an incredible will to survive. And, you know, he's a cool kid.
So do you like not have a liver? You're just living without one?
Well, you cannot really live without one. You have to have one. But I do have one. It doesn't really work. It does and it doesn't. That's why, because it doesn't work. But that's why you have like a spleen. Everybody knows what that is. It's pretty much the same thing as a liver, but it helps it. So if your liver doesn't work, the liver's too full, it goes into your spleen because it's like a filter. So yeah, that's what makes you alive again.
Exactly how do you take out all the organs? What happens when they take out all the
Show him your belly, Chris.
Because they have to take all
He likes doing this. Show your stars.
Turn that way.
We're hoping that when Kristopher does receive his liver and he goes to surgery, basically what happens is they have to remove most of the organs, reshuffle them, put in the new liver, and then it takes time for all the organs to settle back in and everything. But I know this guy. Once he gets that transplant, he's going to be out of that hospital soon.
What's the best prank they understand?
Prank?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a good one. Well, it wasn't really good for him, but it was good for me. This one time I was playing in the motorhome. He was driving down the highway. And I was playing the motorhome with my beeper. And I was playing it, and I know how to set it off. So I set it off. He freaked. He almost pulled over. And because he knows when it goes off, that means I got my liver. So he kind of freaked about it, and he kind of yelled at me when I told him I think I was fine with it. And now I'll never do it again. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 big major ones.
7.
7 major ones?
Yeah.
7 major ones. And I have like billions and billions and billions of holes. And yeah.
I don't want to know, but a couple of my friends want to know if you have a girlfriend.
Chris, do you have a girlfriend? Single girl.
Sorry, what's the weirdest question anyone's asked you?
The weirdest question one person asked me when I was out of high school, they asked me if I had ever had sex.
In most cases, it has been. Very seldom will a stranger do that. Exactly. So if we can get the word out, maybe we can get more donors.
How do you know when you need something? Like, it's just me?
Well, his dad knows more than anybody, but as I witnessed even, he's going to be screaming if he's in pain. Like if it's going to get that bad, he's going to be letting us know, Otherwise, if he's whining, it's because didn't get to watch The Simpsons or something. Back
Who's your idol?
My idol? George, obviously. Terry Fox is another one. Rick Hansen is another one. And I think that's about it.
On the wall. On the wall.
Do you have to be like perfectly healthy to be a donor? Like what kind of pieces could you have still give?
Okay, good question. Everybody is a potential donor. Everybody. Now, there's some people that think because they might have had a disease or something that they can't become donors. That's untrue. What happens is, before the organ is donated, there's a team of medical specialists that make sure that the organ is good. So what we're mentioning to people is that everybody is a potential donor. Don't make that medical decision yourself and omit yourself from that list because you might have a disease, because it's untrue. There's been a lot of organs and tissues that have been donated from people that were carrying a multitude of diseases. So everyone is a potential donor.
This is a little bit off, but how far like away are we from like making or like home organs, like stem cells, like that make gold?
We actually keep researching this kind of thing with your question. Estimates are that probably within 10 years we might be able to do this, but with that kind of research, there's a lot of ethical and moral questions that arise that, it's not the easiest thing to develop, making sure that everybody's going to be comfortable with that. Because there's other ways that we can still get organs that are being researched, and that's from animals. So all these, my personal opinion is that all these channels should be opened, and be looked into. That's back there.
Once someone dies, how long do you have to get rid of their organ or whatever to do that procedure?
Well, in my case, I have to be 6 hours away from London, so that's why we have to get like an ambulance helicopter so they can fly me there faster. And the rest I'm not sure about.
Actually, it's 8 hours. It's 8 hours. It's 8 hours. And they said that they're going to do that for Chris. And like I said, as we're going from province to province, we're contacting all the, like in the province of Manitoba, we have a plane available in case that call came in. And we're coordinating activities with the province of Saskatchewan when we enter Saskatchewan next week. So as we're going from province to province, we're making sure that those arrangements could be made. And, Christopher can arrive there in time.
As far as like transplants go, like does like insurance pay for it or the government, or does it have to be?
Ontario, if anybody doesn't know, he's our Health Minister, George Smitherman. He's the Health Minister of Ontario. He was paying for it for Ontario. And my dad has to pay for other provinces, right, Dad? That's right.
Getting the transplant is paid by the provinces right across the country. Like there's no cost for that. In the province of Manitoba, if a plane came to get it, we would have to pay for the cost of the plane to get it to London. But each province, like transplants, do not cost Canadians any money to do the actual transplants right across the country.
Well, the only reason I was born in London, and those are all my doctors and surgeons are. So